Ever look at that, empty corner of your yard? Or maybe that old shed just sitting there
Hmm.
and think, this space could be doing more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, today we're diving into something that tackles exactly that. Accessory dwelling units. ADUs for short.
Exactly. Think of them like a secondary, smaller home right there on your own property.
Okay.
You might have heard them called other things too, like in-law suites, maybe guest houses, or even backyard cottages.
Right, different names, same basic idea.
Pretty much, it's all about creating a separate, independent living space alongside your main house.
And it really feels like this is striking a chord right now. We've seen some data. I think it was the 2024 Angie State of Home Spending Report.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
It highlighted this big jump in multi-generational households. Something like 1 in 4 homeowners are in that situation now.
That's a huge number.
It is. And that seems to be a key reason people are seriously considering ADUs, isn't it?
It's definitely a major driver.
Yeah.
The need for more flexible living arrangements is just growing.
Makes sense.
But what's really fascinating about ADUs, I think, is just how versatile they are. They can meet so many different needs.
Like what sort of things?
Well, providing space for aging parents is a big one. Or maybe for adult kids who need a place but aren't quite ready to buy.
A stepping stone, kind of?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or you could generate rental income, passive income. Or even just use it yourself, like a home office, a studio,
Yeah.
or just extra storage space that's, well, nicer than a shed.
Right. Okay, so the why is clear. Lots of potential uses. But physically, what are we talking about? Do you need a massive backyard for this?
Not necessarily, no. I
Yeah.
mean, sure, some people do build brand new little houses, from scratch behind their main home.
Yeah.
But honestly, a lot of ADUs actually come from converting existing structures. Think about detached garages or even like those bigger, sturdier sheds. Those can often be repurposed.
Oh, interesting. So a huge plot of land isn't always required.
Not at all. Even with a more typical yard, an ADU could still be, a real possibility.
That's good to hear. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. The financials. That's always a big question, right?
Always.
We know renting it out for passive income is an option, but what about the bigger picture financially?
Well, beyond just the potential monthly rent, a well-done ADU can seriously boost your overall property value.
Like, how much are we talking?
Uh, Potentially up to 30% increase in some areas. It's a pretty substantial investment in your main asset.
Wow. Okay.
But, and this is important, you have to remember an ADU isn't like a separate piece of real estate you can sell off later.
Ah, right. It's tied to the main house.
Exactly. It can't be bought or sold independently. It adds value to the whole package.
Gotcha. Are there any financial downsides or costs to keep in mind?
Yeah, definitely. You'll want to factor in a potential increase in your property taxes, for one.
Okay.
And if you're setting up separate utilities, electricity, water, your energy bills will likely go up too. So it's not entirely free space once it's built.
Right. Ongoing costs.
But for many families, the flexibility and the long-term value kind of outweigh those extra expenses.
Okay. So it's a real investment decision. What about actually building one? The practical side. Are there like a lot of rules and regulations?
Oh, absolutely. Especially if it's meant for someone to actually live in, which most are, you'll almost certainly run into local regulations.
So like zoning stuff?
Closing building codes, yeah. Common requirements usually include things like a private entrance, its own bathroom, toilet, sink, shower,
Hmm.
and often a full kitchen. That usually means countertops, a sink with running water, cabinets, and some kind of stove or cooktop.
So definitely more involved than just painting the shed and putting a bed in there.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah.
This isn't usually a weekend DIY project,
Right.
especially when you get into utilities.
Right. The serious stuff.
Running electricity, water, maybe even gas lines, that almost always requires permits. And you'll need licensed professionals, electricians, plumbers.
Makes sense. You need it done right.
Absolutely. Finding a good, reputable contractor who knows the local codes is really crucial. It can save you a lot of headaches.
Okay, let's talk bottom line then. Costs. What kind of range are we looking at, generally speaking?
It varies quite a bit, actually. It really depends on what you're doing.
Like converting versus building new.
Exactly. A
Yeah.
very basic conversion of an existing garage. Maybe you could start around, say, $20,000, perhaps.
Okay.
But if you're constructing a brand new detached ADU from the ground up, you could be looking at anywhere from $40,000 to, well, $125,000 or even more.
Wow, that's a big range.
It is. It depends heavily on the size, the materials you pick, how complex the design is, local labor costs, all sorts of things. It's definitely a significant financial commitment. Your goals really shape the final price tag.
No kidding. So it's clear adding an ADU isn't just building a small structure. It really changes how you use your property day to day.
It really does. It fundamentally alters the dynamic, you could say.
Mhm.
And just like your main house, you've got to remember it needs looking after.
Ongoing maintenance, yeah.
Regular upkeep, potential repairs down the line. It's another building to manage.
So wrapping this up, ADUs, they definitely offer some compelling potential, right? Adding value, maybe bringing in income, providing that extra space.
For sure. The potential is definitely there.
But it sounds like the key takeaway is careful planning.
Absolutely. Really thorough planning, understanding all the local rules, getting the right permits, and definitely working with qualified pros. Those are essential steps to actually, unlock that potential successfully.
This has been really insightful. Considering everything we've talked about, the growing need for flexible living, the potential financial upsides, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Hmm.
How might ADUs start to reshape our whole idea of homeownership and how we even use our property in the future? Definitely something to think about.